Most habit trackers fail because they're too complicated, so I built this simple one in Google Sheets. No experience needed, let's build it. Create a new Google Sheets document, and in the top left hand name box type A:Z to select all of the columns. Right mouse click and then resize those columns to 35. Next, select column B, right mouse click and resize that column to 125. Select columns C, D and E, again right mouse click and resize those columns to 80. Next, go to the name box in the top left and type 1000 to select all of the rows and resize those to 30. Now select all of the cells and change the font to 12 and change the vertical and horizontal alignment to the middle. Now select row 1, change the height to 60 and the font to 18. Now go to cell B6 and type the word habit, and in C6 type yes, D6 type no, and in E6 type the percentage. Now you can enter in all your habits from cell B7 downwards. Let me know in the description any new habits that you're trying to create this year. Next, in the cell H6 to N6, we're going to enter in the days of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Then select H5 through to N5 and then go to insert and then checkbox. And then create more checkboxes just below the days of your week. Now select the range H3 through to N3, merge those cells and then type in week 1. Now select B3 through to E4, merge those cells, change the font to 18, finally type in overall into B3. Now select all our cells and we're just going to bold those. Then we're just going to change the fill on some of these cells here, and we're just going to use a kind of a dark navy color and then change the font to white. And we're going to do the same with these cells over here, so B6 along to E6, change that to a dark navy and change the font to white. And then finally up above as well, we're just going to copy that exact same formatting in above, so dark navy with a white font. Then we're just going to add some borders and we're just going to make those borders white. And then for the week, I think we'll put in a green color, or actually with a white font, but actually let's make that a little bit lighter. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Now let's copy our week a few times. So if we select H3 through to N14 and then copy, paste, and then copy and paste that again. We can then just change the week numbers, so week 2 and week 3. Next we're going to enter in a countifs formula into cell C7, which is going to use the range H5 to AD5, and if that is true, so if I comma true, then we're going to use the range H7 to AD7, and then we're going to comma true and then close our parentheses. Then we're just going to copy that formula down, and then we're going to enter a new formula into D7, which is going to be another count if, and then we're going to use the range H5 to AD5. So we're going to count if those days are true or ticked, so comma true, and then we're going to use the range H7 to AD7, but this time we're going to comma and we're actually going to go false, and then close our parentheses and copy those down. We then need to put a formula into E7, which is going to be equals if C7 plus D7 is equal to 0, then 0, or else then C7 divided by C7 plus D7, and then close our parentheses once, twice, and hit return. And then we're just going to change that to a percentage font and then decrease our decimal places and copy that down. Next, go to cell C3 and just enter in a sum formula, copying all of the rows down, and we can just change it to just C so that it will remain dynamic. And we're just going to copy that across, and then finally we're going to copy our percentage formulas and paste special those into cell E3, and then just reduce the decimal places. Finally, we're just going to select row 1. We're going to put that into our navy fill and change the font to white, and then we're just going to put in a header, which is going to be our habit tracker. Then we're just going to take out all of our grid lines. Now you can see how the habit tracker works. If we select Monday and then just tick off the different habits that we do each day, it will dynamically say what percentage of the habits have been completed for each day. To add extra weeks and keep all the formulae dynamic, we just select the last week, including the space, right mouse click, and insert 8 columns to the left. And then we just need to copy the previous week into the new space, and then just change the week number.